If you are over 60 years old and you've been told your blood pressure is too high, I need you to listen very carefully right now. What I'm about to share with you tonight could change the way you think about those numbers forever. And it starts in your kitchen. Tonight. In about 2 minutes. Now, before we go any further, I want to be absolutely clear with you. I am not your doctor. This is educational information only. This is not medical advice. Do not stop taking any medications your doctor has prescribed. But what I am going to show you is something that research suggests may help support healthy blood pressure when used alongside your current treatment plan. You don't need to order anything online. You don't need to wait for shipping. You don't need special equipment. And you certainly don't need to spend hours doing complicated routines. What you do need is about 2 minutes, your kitchen, and an open mind. I'm going to explain exactly what this habit is, but first I need you to understand why it matters. Because once you see what's really happening inside your body, everything will make sense. My name doesn't matter as much as what I've witnessed over the years. I've worked with seniors in clinical settings for more than 2 decades. I've sat across from hundreds and hundreds of patients just like you. People in their 60s, 70s, 80s. People who were doing everything their doctors told them to do and still watching their blood pressure climb year after year. I've seen the frustration. I've seen the fear. And I've also seen the pattern, the same pattern again and again and again. And what I've learned is this: the conventional approach is not wrong, but it's incomplete. I'm not here to criticize your doctor. I'm here to fill in the gaps that the system doesn't have time to address. Here's the first thing I need you to understand. Blood pressure is not the problem. I know that sounds strange. You've been told to lower your blood pressure. Your doctor monitors your blood pressure. You probably check it at home. But blood pressure is a signal. It's a measurement. It's telling you something about what's happening deeper inside your body. When your blood pressure goes up, it's because your heart is working harder to push blood through your vessels. And why is it working harder? Because those blood vessels that carry oxygen and nutrients to every part of your body, have become stiffer, less flexible, less responsive. Think of a garden hose. When it's new, it's soft and flexible. Water flows through easily. But over time, especially if it sits in the sun, it becomes stiff and rigid. Now the same amount of water has to push harder to get through. That's what happens inside your body. And here's what most people don't realize. Those blood vessels can become more flexible again. The body has an incredible ability to adapt and improve when given the right support. But we've been focusing on the numbers instead of the vessels. Let me tell you about a woman I'll call Margaret. Margaret came to see me when she was 67 years old. She'd been on blood pressure medication for 11 years. Over those 11 years, her doctor had increased her dosage 3 times, added a second medication, then a third. And still, her blood pressure was creeping upward. Margaret was doing everything right. She took her pills every single morning. She never missed a dose. She checked her blood pressure at home. She went to every appointment, but she was exhausted. She wasn't sleeping well. She felt foggy during the day, and she was terrified. Terrified that one day, despite all her efforts, something terrible would happen. She looked at me and said something I'll never forget. She said, "I feel like I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do, and my body just isn't listening anymore." Does that sound familiar to you? Margaret's story is not unique. It's the story I hear over and over and over again. So let me explain what was actually happening inside Margaret's body, and what's likely happening inside yours. Your blood vessels are lined with a thin layer of cells. This lining is incredibly important. When it's healthy, it releases substances that help your vessels relax and expand. This keeps blood flowing smoothly. It keeps pressure low. But as we age, and especially if we've been eating certain foods and living with certain stresses for decades, this lining becomes damaged. It becomes inflamed. It stops working the way it should. When that happens, your vessels don't relax anymore. They stay tight, constricted. Your heart has to work harder and harder to push blood through. And here's the key point. Medication can help lower the pressure, but medication doesn't always repair that lining. It doesn't always restore flexibility to those vessels. That's why, even on medication, blood pressure can keep climbing. Now, I want to say something important here. Your doctor is not ignoring this. Your doctor is not failing you. The truth is, most doctors have about 7 to 12 minutes per appointment. They are overwhelmed with paperwork, insurance forms, and back-to-back patients. The system they work in does not give them time to sit down and explain all of this to you. It does not give them time to talk about lifestyle changes in detail. So they do what they can do in the time they have. They prescribe medication. They monitor your numbers. And they move on to the next patient. This is not their fault. This is the system. But it leaves a gap, a big gap. And that gap is where you can take that control. And in a moment, I'll tell you why timing matters more than the amount when it comes to supporting your blood vessel health. Here's what I want you to know. Your body has not given up on you. Even if you've been dealing with high blood pressure for years. Even if you're on multiple medications. Even if you're 70 or 80 years old. Your blood vessels can still improve. That lining can still repair itself. Blood flow can still become smoother and easier. Small changes can create real results. You don't need to overhaul your entire life. You don't need to run marathons or eat nothing but salads. You don't need perfection. You just need consistency. And you need to give your body what it's been missing. So what is that? What is this 2-minute kitchen habit I mentioned at the beginning? It's beet juice. Specifically, a small glass of pure beet juice. Or beets blended with water. Taken in the evening. Consistently. Now, before you dismiss this as too simple or too strange, let me explain why research suggests this may help support healthy blood pressure. This is not about beets themselves. This is about supporting nitric oxide. Beets are rich in something called nitrates, not the synthetic kind found in processed meats. Natural nitrates. When you consume these nitrates, your body converts them into something called nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is one of the most important substances your body produces for blood vessel health. It signals your blood vessels to relax, to expand, to become more flexible. This is exactly what we need. Studies indicate that beet juice consumption may help support the body's natural production of nitric oxide. And when blood vessels relax, blood flows more easily. Pressure may naturally decrease over time. This is not a cure, this is not cure, but it is a natural, research-backed approach that may help support your body's own ability to regulate blood pressure. And the best part? It's simple, accessible, affordable. You can find beet juice at most grocery stores, or you can buy fresh beets, cook them lightly, and blend them with a little water. No fancy equipment needed. 2 minutes. Your kitchen. Tonight. Let me go a little deeper into why this works. When you drink beet juice, those natural nitrates are absorbed into your bloodstream. Over the next few hours, your body begins converting them into nitric oxide. Nitric oxide does something remarkable. It relaxes the smooth muscle inside your blood vessel walls. When that muscle relaxes, the vessels widen, blood has more room to flow. Your heart doesn't have to work as hard. This process happens naturally in your body every single day. But as we age, and especially if our diet lacks certain nutrients, we produce less and less nitric oxide. Beet juice may help restore that production. And here's the important part. This is safe for most people when used responsibly. It's a food, not a drug, not a dangerous supplement. Of course, you should always talk to your doctor before adding anything new to your routine, especially if you're on medications. But for most seniors, beets are a normal, healthy part of a balanced diet. Let me tell you about another patient. I'll call him Robert. Robert was 72. He was a retired engineer. Very logical. Very skeptical. He did not believe in natural remedies. He thought they were nonsense. But his blood pressure had been climbing despite 2 medications. His doctor was considering adding a third. Robert didn't want that, so he came to see me. When I mentioned beet juice, he almost walked out. But I convinced him to try it for 30 days. Just 30 days. Track his blood pressure every morning. See what happens. Robert agreed. Reluctantly. He drank a small glass of beet juice every evening. He didn't change anything else at first. Same diet, same routine, same medications. After 2 weeks, he noticed something. His evening blood pressure readings were slightly lower, not dramatic, but consistent. After 4 weeks, his morning readings started to improve as well. Robert kept going. He started adding a few other supportive habits. More walking, more vegetables, less salt. 6 months later, under close medical supervision with his doctor, he was able to reduce one of his medications. Robert still drinks beet juice every evening. He calls it his engineering solution. Simple, reliable, consistent. Now, beet juice alone may help, but if you want to give your body the best chance to improve, there are other simple habits that work alongside it. These are optional. You don't have to do all of them. You don't have to be perfect, but each one may help support healthy blood pressure. First, try to add more potassium-rich foods to your meals. Bananas, sweet potatoes, spinach, avocados. Potassium helps balance sodium and supports healthy blood vessel function. Second, reduce processed foods when you can. Not because they're evil, but because they're often loaded with sodium and chemicals that can irritate your blood vessel lining. Third, move your body gently every day. A short walk, stretching, anything that gets your blood flowing. Movement signals your vessels to stay flexible. 4. Manage stress in small ways. Deep breathing for 2 minutes. Sitting quietly with a cup of tea. Stress hormones constrict blood vessels. Calm signals them to relax. Again, you don't need to do all of this perfectly. Just pick 1 or 2 habits and build from there. Gradual change is more sustainable than drastic overhauls. I want to address something important. Some people try beet juice for a few days and say it didn't work. So let me explain why that might happen. First, consistency matters. Your body needs time to respond. 1 glass of beet juice is not going to reverse years of damage. You need to give it at least 2 to 4 weeks of daily use. Second, if you're still eating a lot of processed foods, drinking sugary drinks, and living with chronic stress, beet juice alone may not be enough. You're trying to fill a bathtub while the drain is opened. You need to address the other factors too. Third, some people drink too much too fast and experience digestive discomfort. Start small, a quarter cup, then half a cup, work your way up, and finally, some people don't drink it at the right time. Evening is often best because nitric oxide production peaks a few hours after consumption. This supports relaxation and better sleep, which also helps blood pressure. This is why timing matters more than the amount. So, if you've tried this before and it didn't work, consider whether you gave it enough time and whether you were consistent. Now, I need to be very clear about safety. Do not stop taking your blood pressure medications. Do not reduce your dosage without talking to your doctor first. Blood pressure medication is important and potentially life-saving. You should never make changes to your medications on your own. What I am suggesting is that you add this habit alongside your current treatment plan. Monitor your blood pressure regularly. Keep your doctor informed. If your blood pressure improves over time, your doctor may choose to adjust your medications. But that is a decision you make together. Also, be aware that beet juice can interact with certain medications. If you are on blood thinners or nitrate medications for heart conditions, you must talk to your doctor before starting this. And remember, individual responses vary. Some people see changes quickly. Others take longer. Some may not respond at all. This is true of any intervention, natural or pharmaceutical. Your body is unique. Your situation is unique. Use this information wisely and responsibly. So let me walk you through exactly what to do tonight. Step 1. Go to your kitchen. Step 2. If you have beet juice in the refrigerator, pour about half a cup into a glass. If you don't have any, add it to your shopping list for tomorrow. Step 3. Drink it slowly. You can add a little lemon juice if the taste is too strong. You can dilute it with water. Just get it into your body. Step 4. Do this every evening. Same time if possible. Consistency is more important than quantity. Step 5. Track your blood pressure every morning. Write it down. Watch for patterns over the next few weeks. That's it. No complicated routine. No expensive programs. Just a simple habit. Repeated daily. I want to leave you with this thought. You have spent years, maybe decades, feeling like your body was out of control. Like the numbers on that blood pressure monitor had power over you. But you have more control than you think. Your body wants to heal. It wants to function well. It just needs the right support. This 2-minute habit is not magic. It's not a miracle cure. But it may be the missing piece you've been searching for. And even if it only helps a little, isn't that worth trying? You deserve to feel hopeful again. You deserve to feel like you have options. You deserve to take back some control over your health. So start tonight. Start simple. Start consistent. And if this information has been helpful to you, please share it with someone you love, a spouse, a friend, a family member, someone who might be struggling with the same fears and frustrations you've been carrying. Subscribe to this channel if you want more practical, research-based information that actually respects your intelligence and your time. And remember, you are not alone in this. Millions of seniors are dealing with the same challenges. But together, with knowledge and consistency, we can all take steps toward better health. Thank you for listening. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.